Shopping with Dr. Livingood. Today we're breaking down produce, and I'm going to show you the 5 keys when you're buying produce to cut the toxicity down, but not hit the wallet by buying everything organic. So here's some of the main keys. Point number 1, let's dive right in. The first thing I want to look at are pesticides. When it comes to all of these fruits and all of these veggies, pesticides have to be put on them a lot of times to grow them. We want to know which ones can you get away with putting them on and which ones do we want to completely avoid. 15 foods that you can buy non-organic, those are clean, no big deal. And then the 12 dirty ones that you always want to make sure and buy organic to eliminate the pesticides. The general rule is that if the outside of it can be not consumed, then you're probably okay. Like a banana's gonna have a protective layer on it, so it's gonna ward off some of those pesticides from absorbing into the fruit. However, the number 1 food that you want to get organic when it comes to produce, strawberries. Those little pores just suck up the pesticides right in there. So generally speaking, if it's soft on the outside, if you're gonna eat the outside of it, then you're okay. If you're not eating the outside of it, unless you're just weird and you eat the outside of an avocado, if you're peeling it, then you're okay. Now that's not always the case. For the example, asparagus has a real tough outer shell to it, and you're gonna eat that. However, it expels the pesticides. So this is one of the exceptions to that rule. So again, that link is below. Clean 15, dirty dozen, the ones that you must buy organic to lower the pesticide content, the 12 that you can get away with buying non-organic or more conventional. Let's go to point number 2. How can you actually tell which is which when it comes to produce? Well, let me show you here. If you can get it zoom in a little bit, I grabbed a couple tomatoes, and you're gonna see these little numbers on the tomatoes right here, okay? This one has 4 digits, this one has 5 digits. If it has 4 digits, in general, 4 digits means conventional, okay? Doesn't mean it's genetically modified, it just means it's conventionally grown, it is not organic, okay? In some cases that's okay for the clean 15, dirty dozen, but we always wanna make sure we avoid the GMO. Now, the trick with the genetically modified organisms is, you see this is a 5-digit number on this tomato. If it starts with a 9, it's organic. This one's organic. If it starts with an 8, it's genetically modified. I never pick up a genetically modified one. And the cool thing about this little sticker right here is, 1, it tells you if it's genetically modified or organic, but it also says pretty girl, and my wife, Nurse Livingood, is actually filming right now, so I'm gonna stick that on her. Pretty girl. Okay, someone's gonna be wondering what kind of tomato that is, but we know what she is, organic or grown and pretty. All right, so that's how you can tell with the stickers what food you're buying. Conventional, 4 digits, organic, 5 digits starts with a 9, genetically modified, 5 digits starts with an 8. Speaking of genetically modified, point number 3, there's a few fruits specifically, couple vegetables that you always want to try to get organic because they're so genetically modified. The pineapple. Okay, so this pineapple, a lot of times genetically modified to get them to grow enough. Bananas are another one. Zucchini is one. Sweet potatoes is one. Papaya is another. So any of those, pineapple, papaya, sweet potatoes, bananas, and zucchini. If you're buying any of those, I would get them organic because they're so genetically modified. Key number 4 when it comes to produce, nutrients. There's actually a score in some grocery stores called the ANDI score. It's an aggregated nutrient density index. So it's actually an index that tells you how much nutrients is actually in the food. So come on over here, I'm gonna show you some of my favorites of what tops the list. Number 1, all the way up, kale. Kale is the most nutrient dense. It scores 1,000 out of 1,000 on the nutrient density score. So putting this into a smoothie is a really good way to use it. You can also saute it real simply and add a little onion in there, a red onion or a yellow onion. It's fantastic. But slipping this in a smoothie, you can't really taste it that much, and it's kidney friendly, whereas spinach sometimes creates oxalates in the body. So those that have kidney stones kind of avoid it. Kale's not gonna do that to you though. Spinach is fantastic as well. Scores around 700-800 on nutrient density. So superfood number 1, modern superfood number 1, kale. Modern superfood number 2, radishes. Radishes are off the charts in nutrients. They are the most nutrient-dense vegetable. Now, if that was to be called a green, kale was, this is the most nutrient-dense vegetable. It scores around a 500-600 when it comes to the ANDI score, and these things are just fantastic. I grew up eating them, right? You got a little bit of the dirt you can see still on that a little bit. You don't want to wash too much of that off. Those are good probiotics going into your body. Very healthy antioxidants, good for the immune system as well. Let's go to my next 3 favorite modern superfoods. Next one, let's go broccoli, all right? Broccoli might be the healthiest food on the planet. Let's just call it the most healthy, accessible food on the planet. You can find this in any grocery store, and the antioxidants in here have been shown to fight off cancers like breast cancers. The antioxidants in here help to level out inflammation inside of the body. It's also a great source of vitamin A, vitamin C. Love me some broccoli. There almost isn't a day go by that I don't eat broccoli. Call me weird, but I love dipping it in hummus. I like it in the raw form. My wife loves to steam it quite a bit. You can find some recipes and more information. I put a link to a why I think broccoli is the healthiest food on the planet below. Check that one out after this video. Next superfood up, cucumbers. I mean, how readily available is this? Especially if you have a garden. You like hand these things out when you have a garden because they grow so plentiful. There are so many uses for a cucumber. 13 of them, in fact, that you would be shocked about. I put that video below as well, but this has healthy electrolytes, potassium, 96% water this thing is, so it's gonna rehydrate you, gonna be very helpful if you need a little energy boost in the afternoon. There almost isn't a day that's gone by that I don't eat a cucumber as well. These are modern superfoods right in our backyards, in our gardens, or at your local supermarket, so add these into your regimen. And finally, celery. Yes! Celery has kind of exploded recently. I have a very popular video on YouTube about the extreme effects of celery. You can check that one out below as well after this. But juicing it actually extracts some of the salts that are found in celery, and it's very soothing to the digestive system to help your liver out the bile salts that are needed to break down foods, as well as to help with acid reflux. So if you are dealing with some stomach and tummy issues, some bloating, or perhaps want to help with liver detoxification, running this through a juicer and drinking that juice first thing in the morning, fantastic. Now you can still eat it, absolutely, but juicing it helps release some of those salts, helps the acids inside of your stomach. Another modern day superfood. That's my top 5. All right, and point number 5, let's talk fruit. I love fruit. I think it's beneficial. I just think we've overdone it when it comes to Krispy Kremes, pizza, bagels, all these bad foods we're putting in our body. If you want to get your insulin under control, then you've got to cut fruit out for a period of time. But there are certain fruits that don't spike insulin levels and can be enjoyed at any time and any stage of healing. One of my favorites, back to the old strawberries right here. Any kind of berry is going to be low glycemic. I also like grapefruits. Watch those if you're on a heart medication. Lemons, limes, these are excellent sources of good nutrients, fruits that you can enjoy to be adding in. And then my ultimate favorite, the Granny Smith apple. Very different than the red apple. Let's not dog the red apple too much, but the sugar content between these two, this is way lower. So if you're trying to lose weight and keep it off, reach for the green one. It's a little more bitter. I love to dip mine in almond butter. It's like dessert to me. So adding a Granny Smith apple, berries, grapefruit, lemon or lime, low glycemic index. Once you hit your health goals, then you can go about adding in other delicious fruits. I would eat them in the morning time, isolated by themselves, not mixed with any other types of food. Just eat them solo. Don't eat any other food an hour before or after, and you'll get a really good detoxifying effect, and you'll be very effective at helping your digestive system. So there are my top tips for produce. You can enjoy a lot of really delicious food. You should spend a lot of time on this side of the store, but know how to cut out the modified organisms, the GMOs, how to cut out the pesticides, and pick the proper produce so you can get the most nutrients out of it. If you liked it, check out the links below to learn more, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel where I give tips like this all the time.